Hello everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar conducted by St. Joseph Institute of Management, one of the premier B schools of India located in the heart of Bangalore city. So, we have with us on this webinar Dr. Anup Krishnamurthy. He has a doctorate in management from the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. He is specialized in marketing with a minor in organizational behavior. His research work has been published in Journal of Services, Marketing, Management, and Management International Review, Journal of Retailing and Consumer Services, International Resource Management, European Management Review, and Journal of Customer Behavior. Sir has also presented his work conferences organized by Yale University, affiliates of the Academy of Management USA, the International Marketing Trends Congress, the Journal of the Academy of Marketing Science, and others in India, USA, Spain, and Japan. In addition, he has co-authored a book published by Sage related to advertising and consumer behavior in the Indian context. He has won Outstanding Reviewer Awards at the 2016 Midwest Academy of Management USA and at the Emerald Literary Network 2014 Awards for Excellence. Thus, doctoral thesis was judged the best marketing thesis in India for the year 2016 to 17 by the Scientific Committee of the International Marketing Trends Congress and ESCP Europe. And also, I would like to introduce, we have with Ms. Shobha Devi. She is a technically qualified professional with a vast experience both in industrial and academic sectors. She is a mechanical engineer and has also pursued MBA in HR management. In her early career, she worked as a design engineer and later shifted to academics and took up challenges in placements profile. So she has over 15 plus years of experience in the placement portfolio and is currently working as a placement officer at St. Joseph Institute of Management, which is the oldest in Karnataka and a reputed B school in Bangalore. So now I would request Anup sir to take this forward. So stage is all yours.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Raghu. So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I think thank you, Mr. Raghu, for a very nice introduction for both Mrs. Shobha and myself. I think Mrs. Shobha will be joining us very shortly. There is a little bit of technical issue there, but she will certainly join us. In the meantime, what I'll do is I'll take you all through the presentation that we have prepared for you. Okay, so let me just load that up. All right. So, today we'll be talking about our institution, St. Joseph's Institute of Management. It's like Mr. Raghav said, it is located at a very central location in Bangalore, almost in the heart of the business district, with a lot of businesses around, and yet it's a very lovely campus. You feel like you're in a very nice academic atmosphere, a very familial atmosphere. Right? So we try to create a lovely place that you all can learn, understand, grow in character, and so on, and then finally graduate as very responsible managers. So let me just start. First, to clear up a little bit of confusion that sometimes students have, is what is an MBA? Why a PGDM? Sometimes we have students coming in from different areas, like in arts, or of course commerce. We get a lot of students, but you get from arts and engineering and other fields, and they say, what is an MBA or what is a PGDM? Why should we take it up? See, in today's world, as you know, an MBA, it stands for Masters in Business Administration. PGDM stands for Postgraduate Diploma in Management. But as per the AICTE, which is the government's regulatory authority for technical education, that is the All India Council for Technical Education, as per them, MBA and PGDM are equivalent. They're one and the same thing. Now, the idea behind this kind of a course or this kind of a program, learning program, is to help you, to give you the skills and the knowledge to either start your own business, right, irrespective of whichever field you want to start it in, or to continue running a particular business. Okay, so for example, if you are joining a corporation and you're joining through lateral recruitment or a new joinee and so on, you will still have enough of skills and knowledge to be able to join that organization. At the same time, you want to start up your own business. You believe that you have a great idea and you want to share that with the world and start your own business. Again, a PGDM helps you do that, right? So we give you a lot of knowledge and skills in the main functional areas, that is HR, finance, marketing, operations, as well as we have a lot of newer ideas and skills and courses that get added on every year, right? We keep modifying and upgrading in some sense our curriculum so that we keep up to date with what is going on in the industry. So why pursue a PGDM, right? So one thing is, of course, what is it, but then why should I take it up is the next question. And I think the simple answer to that is that once you graduate with a PGDM degree, you can work in practically any industry after that graduation. Right? You are not limited to any specific, position, any specific post, any specific role, any specific industry. It's completely open to you. You have full access, to enter into any industry that you wish, anything that you enjoy, anything that you like. You can enter those industries. There is no problem because a PGDM, to that extent, gives you a much broader and more general perspective on business. And as a result, any industry is open to you once you finish your graduation. Of course, as a result of that, since you can work in any industry, you have many more jobs available to you, right? You're not limited to a specific sector, specific industry, a specific area, geography, nothing. You have many more jobs, therefore, available to you. And also, since you have so much of opportunity, the salaries are much higher than you would get in any other kind of post-graduation course. And lastly, which has become a more recent phenomenon in the last decade or so, is that international opportunities have started increasing. And we'll show you also. I'll show you in today's presentation of how we as an institution ourselves are also increasing our international presence. Right? So that we give our students this international access as well. Okay. All right. So coming to St. Joseph's Institute of Management, I would just like to first give you, since you might not have a complete picture about it, you may have heard about it, you've obviously come for this webinar knowing that this is the institution that we're talking about today, but just to give a little more context, right, as to how we function, where we function, what is our history. So we have a very strong heritage, right? Unlike other schools which have just cropped up in the last 10 years or 20 years, St. Joseph's has been around for a very long time, right? We are part of an international Jesuit order which has more than 500 years of education tradition and history and excellence. And the institute itself, St. Joseph's Institute of Management, has itself over 50 years of history and success, right? We were established in 1968. We celebrated our golden jubilee in 2018. And so we have a long history of doing education well, right? Educating young people really well. And of course, we're the oldest business school in Karnataka, right? As part of that. If you take a look, that's how we started out. This is an early picture of the institution and how we were. Okay, it's of course changed now. We have upgraded ourselves. We've become, we've upscaled everything. It's become a improved college. We have state of the art facilities. The location has changed. We're now the center of the heart of the city with great transportation access, great access to businesses and everything else as well, right? So you'll be coming to this lovely new building that we're in. It's a very new building. We've moved into it just in 2017, 18, around that time. Okay, so it's a very new, fresh building. It's maintained very well. For the inauguration, I think you can recognize Rahul Dravid there. Okay, he's an alumni of the St. Joseph's group of institutions. So he had come very graciously to open up the building, to inaugurate the opening of the new building. That is some pictures from our golden jubilee. Like I said, we have crossed 50 years, right? We've been educating young people for the last 50 years. Started out with more on executive education and then moved over to a full-time program in 1996. Okay, so 50 years of tradition is there. As you can see, we had the former president Shri Pranab Mukherjee, who had also come to inaugurate their entire function, to be the chief guest for that function, along with, of course, MPs, MLAs, and other dignitaries that were present. And recently, we had the silver jubilee of our PGDM program. So even though the institute started very earlier on in 1968, other things like the AICT, the regulatory authorities, other bodies, the formalization of the PGDM programs across India, all that started a little later. And when it did start, St. Joseph's was right there, willing to take it up. And therefore, we have 25 years. We've crossed 25 years of the PGDM program itself, right? So when you join us, you're joining a program that has a long tradition of education as well as of excellence. We've been running very well for the last 25 years in specifically the PGDM program and the last 50 years overall as an institute. Coming to the quality that we have, so one of the reasons why as we are good as an institute, why you'll be trained well, is simply because we believe in quality, right? It is not just just running an institute or just having students coming and going through and we don't know who they are in the next 2 years. No, we believe in very good quality, in making sure that our programs will be student focused and we give these students the best possible quality, and therefore we recruit some of the best faculty possible. We have faculties trained at the IIMs from abroad as well as in good institutes and in other good institutes in India. We use the latest possible pedagogical tools. For example, we've subscribed to an unlimited access to Harvard Business School cases, so that you get a real feel when you're doing, your classes and your courses. It's not just about lectures and not just about, few assignments here and there, but you get to put yourself in the shoes of managers who have faced, problems and difficulties and how they overcame those. But you get to go through that process again. So you get to apply the knowledge that we are teaching you. You get to see how it works in the real world, the kind of tweaks and modifications and the way you have to use your talent and creativity to solve business problems, okay, to solve issues that organizations may face. And of course, proof of it is not in just what I'm saying. Okay, of course, I'm a faculty member there, so yes, I do believe we have very good quality, but we have got external validation also. We were ranked, the NRIF is done by it's a ranking done by the government of India, the HR ministry. And what they do is they rank all the various schools. In the 2018 ranking, we were ranked very high over there in the top band in the NRIF. And in Bangalore, if you look in the go through the rankings, you will find that we are one of the 4 schools in Bangalore that was ranked. Okay, and consistently year after year, we're always in the top 100 of the business schools. Sometimes top 50, that kind of thing. It, of course, rankings varies year from year, but we have maintained our consistent quality to ensure that we stay at least in the top 100 business schools in India. Okay. In terms, now this is the more important part, I think. Yes, heritage is important, quality is important, of course, but I think as students, right, as prospective students, what is more important for you is how are we addressing your needs, right? How are we focusing on you? Because you're coming here as coming to learn, you're coming to get educated, to grow in character, to graduate as managers and so on. So how do we help you do that? How does St. Joseph's help you do that? This slide will just give you a brief of what it is, and then I'll go into details of each one after this. So the first thing we do is we understand that sometimes education can be very expensive, and therefore so as to ensure that everybody has as much opportunity as possible, we offer fee scholarships up to 2 lakhs for eligible students. Right, so you have admission scholarships, you have general merit scholarships, you have for those who are economically backward, special scholarships for them. So different types of scholarships are there, available for all the students, accessible to all the students. You have to satisfy certain criteria. We have all the information freely available for you on our website. I'll be happy to discuss it even further. But just remember, the college is very generous in terms of the scholarships that it gives. So I think last couple of years it's been anywhere between 30 to 35 lakhs is a total amount of scholarship money that is given to the students to help them in the education. Okay, every year there's a large amount given for that. We are a small institute to the extent that we have only 180 students per batch. So across 2 years, that's only 360 students. So as a result, you get a lot of individual attention. Class sizes are small. You get to participate easily. Your voice is heard in some sense. Your ideas are heard. Your professors will be able to interact with you almost on a one-to-one basis. Okay, so in that sense, it's a very good, small familial atmosphere in which you'll be coming into and in which you'll be able to express yourself and be more free for learning. We also offer a dual specialization, which means you can take up in your second year. So first year is common for everyone, obviously the studies that you do. That's to give you a good grounding. And then after that, in the second year, you get to choose. Do you want to take up, HR and marketing? Do you want to take up marketing and finance? Do you want to take up finance and HR? There are various operations and marketing, various combinations are there, right, that you can take up. It's 2 specializations, so you don't have to focus only in one. If you're interested in two areas, you're interested both in finance and marketing, and you're not sure which area you want to finally settle down in your career, we'll train you in both, and then you can apply for jobs in both areas, and you can then choose the career that you prefer. Our placements have been really good. Okay, I'm sure our placement officer, Ms. Shobha, will be able to tell you more about that. For any questions that you have, you can address them to her at the end of this presentation. And we've had really good presentation placements for the last few years. Even during the lockdown times, Ms. Shobha worked really hard, and the college has got very good placements for our students, and they extended the placement period so that even some students who could not get placed, because as you know, during the lockdown time, when there were lots of the problem with the pandemic and so on, lots of companies froze hiring. But even at that time, we still tried to get our students placed, and Ms. Shobha did a really good job on that. And we of course have a lot of student driven events to gain to build your management skills, to help you understand how to manage people, manage logistics, manage budgets, everything. All that is incorporated into these events so that you get a good feel of it. And plus, it's something interesting also to do. It adds on. You're able to utilize some knowledge that you have gained and actually implement it, actually do something with it. Right? Student driven events are there. And like I said, we've added international flavor, a lot of it, to the program as well. And as a result, we have collaborations across many countries, which we'll discuss a little more in detail. Okay. So first, to take you through primarily the placements, because I know that's most important to everyone. A lot of you all will be joining the program because you all believe that this program will help you gain a better career, move up in your career, get a better salary package, live a better life, a more comfortable life, and so on, of course. And we understand that that's a primary requirement for students, and therefore we focus a lot on that. We have a dedicated placement office solely meant for this purpose, right? The entire 100% focus of the placement office and our placement officer is just for placements. And you can see as a result of that, we've got top companies coming. You have JP Morgan, Amazon, EY, KPMG, Grant Thornton, TCS. These are just a few of them. I can't list the whole lot over here because there are so many, but these are some of the top companies that come in and pay really good salaries. For example, the highest package this year was 22 lakhs per annum. The average was about 7 lakhs per annum, and that's been increasing every year. It just keeps going up, right? That's a good thing. And like I said, almost everybody gets placed. There's very few people who don't. It's quite rare. Almost everyone gets placed, and therefore a few students choose to join their family business or want to pursue higher studies. But amongst the remaining, we try to place everyone and get them into good companies. In terms of the international focus, right, the way we are looking at the international perspective, we realized that as an MBA student, as a manager, as a future leader in the industry, you cannot be limited only to what's going on in India, right? The world is globalized, the world is connected all over the place, and clients may be existing in other countries. So you should not be limited by the lack of international exposure, and therefore we have built up the international perspective and flavor in St. Joseph's, so that we are coordinating now with universities in USA, in Taiwan, Malaysia, and in Germany. Okay, so that you can get some sort of international exposure. You can either work in international teams for some courses, or you get some international learning and networking through our annual SJIM International Business Plan competition, where you work virtually with team members from across different countries, right, to kind of brainstorm and put together a plan that will then be judged by people from different countries. Again, we have top jury members coming from the United Nations and various other places to judge your plans, to decide, okay, are you guys doing something good, or what more can be improved. And some students have even gone on to take their business plan and start a business, right, and make good friends and good business partners across countries. And you have international exposure that comes through what we call as our international immersion programs, which is basically a focused, concentrated study tour in some sense that takes you to another country. Like I said, US, Taiwan, Malaysia. We go there, and then you spend a few days over there to interact with the university, of course, over there, the students over there, to understand their perspective. You sit in a few classes to understand how universities run differently in different countries. We take you to the workspaces of the top companies over there. We've gone to places like the headquarters of Amazon, of Starbucks, JP Morgan, right? We've gone to all these places so that you can speak to the managers over there, speak to the leaders over there, and get an understanding of what is going on, right? Of how businesses run, not just in India or across the world, but you get global businesses, how people need to manage and coordinate activities and people and so on to run these businesses, right? That gives you a good exposure, and you get a chance to speak to all these top people, which otherwise is very difficult, right? To get time for these top managers is very difficult to do of a global company. Remember, these are the headquarters of a lot of these companies. And of course, we also have right here in SJIM every year, we organize the international conference, which again brings across a lot of industry people and people from the industry who are in leading positions in the industry to come and talk to you, discuss with you, have a lot of interaction. Again, to give you this exposure to help you understand that India is part of a global world, right? And that's the world we need to work in. That's the world we're going to be functioning in, and therefore to expose you to that, to give you some understanding of that world as well. All right. The next part, of course, is the learning. That is what we believe we are trying to contribute maximum to you, right? Where we do our curriculum revisions quite frequently. The most recent one, in fact, was just done. We just completed it in 2021. So we change up our curriculum regularly to ensure that we are matching up with industry standards, with whatever is happening in the industry, so that when you graduate, you are not lacking in any skills, you're not lacking in any knowledge, right? When you go to the industry, you are ready. You're ready to be absorbed by the industry. Okay. We use a lot of technology in teaching. So this helped us, especially when during the pandemic times, when there were a lot of lockdowns, the entire program. So unlike other colleges where they move just the courses and a few lectures and things, that our entire program moved online, which means not just courses, but all your assignments and projects and co-curricular activities, guest lectures, everything moved online, right? Which meant that the students didn't miss out on anything. So we ensure that the full program as is transferred online with the help of technology, right? So you can be sure that irrespective of whether there is a pandemic, no pandemic, hybrid mode, online mode, offline mode, you don't have to worry. You will get the best teaching that is possible, because we are technically savvy to that extent to be able to shift our program without any problem, and we utilize the technology for these advantages. Guest lectures, of course, you'll be exposed to many of them as part of your courses. Sometimes for the entire college, guest lectures are brought in by leading academicians internationally, locally, nationally, practitioners, business industry leaders. We get a good mix that comes in, so you get exposure to different thoughts, different ideas, different ways of running businesses, of leading people. Hmm. And we also subscribe to several databases to help you with your projects, to help you with learning, to help you if you're a little research oriented, for that as well. So all these databases like Crystal and EBSCO and so on, they help you with all that. It's useful to have these as tools for your projects and presentations and other assignments. We understand also that students sometimes need help with training for placements, right? Maybe you need some public speaking help, or you need some group discussion practice and personal interview practice and so on, how to build your resume, etc. So we give you all that. We have a dedicated course and resource people for career advancement training, and we focus your training onto that. So as you progress through the years, we'll give you that training, so by the time placements come, you are ready, right? You are ready for the interviews, you're ready to meet the HR recruiters that come and so on. And finally, of course, we have annual conclaves that are held in each of the functional areas, in which is organized by the students, and it is for the students. So in some sense, we're bringing industry people in, the students bring in the industry people, so that you can interact with them. It's a conclave where you discuss new ideas around a particular theme, right? You see something new that is going on in the industry, and therefore that brings the students and the industry people together, and a lot of networking can also happen at that time. One thing that we don't leave out, and we definitely include in our program, and we're very particular about it, is that we want to build your character. We don't want you to graduate as just as another manager. We want you to graduate as a responsible manager, as a manager who will do right by society, by their employees, and so on. Right? So we try to build up your character, build up your moral values, and so on through various ways, right? Through you have a rural immersion program where you get exposure to what is there in the rest of India, right? We're not just in urban India over here. We have a very large country, and a lot of people are in the rural areas, right? So get an understanding of their perspective. We have outreach programs, outreach initiatives, which are very fun and exciting to do. An entire club is dedicated towards that. A student club is dedicated towards that. Pinnacle is an intra-college event that is organized to help you understand yourselves better, help to grow better, and also to get to know your classmates better. Because it's a, like I said, it's a small student community, so it's a good way to get in touch with your classmates, build networks for the future. Because your classmates are going to be future managers in companies, right? In 10 years down the line. So if you know them now, how much better it's going to be. And to help you throughout your program, throughout your 2 years, we have two levels of mentoring. So we have one level at the student level where your seniors, some of the seniors are, are your act as your mentors to help you through the program. So they're more approachable because they are, your own seniors, and you're similar to your age group and so on. But we also have faculty mentors. So all students are assigned to one faculty member. Okay, so throughout your 2 years, you will have one point of contact that you can go to if there's any difficulty that you face in the college, academic or otherwise. You have access to a faculty member who will be able to help you, guide you. And in addition to that, we also have counselors, right? So in case people have, a lot of difficulties, especially, for example, during the pandemic time, a lot of students did have serious difficulties. And so we had a counselors also there to help the students, to guide them, counsel them, make them calm again and bring them back to a studying mode and so on. So we have a good support system, okay, for you, not just to build your character, but to ensure that it stays strong throughout the 2 years in the program, so that when you graduate, we can be proud of the responsible and ethical managers that we have brought out in you. Okay. So just to give you an idea of what goes on, okay, so I can fit only a few pictures in one slide, but I've tried as many as possible. So this is a little bit of our facilities. That's our lovely library. It's a beautiful place to sit, study, little group discussion kind of thing. It's a very nice location, lots of books, lots of place to study, lots of computers for access to databases and so on. This is from our immersion programs in Malaysia, USA. You can see we've gone to Microsoft headquarters over there in Malaysia. That's taken at the university over there. So again, this is part of the international program. It's not compulsory, it's an optional and opt-in program. This is taken from the intra-college events. So there are lots of intra-college events and inter-college events, right? This is the inter-college events, the pictures. So we give you a good mix of both. You get to practice your skills along with your own classmates, as well as execute programs and events and so on to include other colleges and other people. These are some reviews that we have. I think you might have already gone through some of them, right, from different websites. As you can see, you don't have to believe or take only my word for it. In some sense, the reviews are already there online. You can go and read them. If you have any questions or doubts, you can, of course, get back to us. We'll be very happy to answer that. And yes, so I do believe that if you apply to St. Joseph's, you'll be making a great decision, a very good decision, because we'll be able to train you as good, responsible, knowledgeable, and skillful managers for tomorrow. Okay, to join the industry tomorrow. So I have given the details over here. We have our website, the email address, and a phone number that you can contact in case you have any questions. The deadline for our admissions is 16th March. That's the deadline coming up. If you have your phones handy, you want to scan the QR code, you can do that as well. I could keep this up for a little more time. And maybe in the meanwhile, if you all have any questions, if you have anything that you'd like to ask, you can go ahead and please start putting it in the Q&A section. And if it's related to placements, Mrs. Shobha, I'll be happy to answer you. If it's anything else, I'll be happy to take up the questions. Please go ahead and place the questions there. We'll take it up as they come. I'll keep this slide open maybe for some more time. so that everyone can see it?
Yes, thank you, Anup sir. Thank you for detailed information.
Sure.
We have a questions from students. I think if you can see on the Q&A
Yeah.
section. So
So
we'll go one by one.
sure, I'll take it up as they have come. Right. So I think the first one that we have. Okay. The questions disappeared from here.
It's in the
Okay.
published. We need to answer.
All
Yeah,
right.
publish.
All right. Okay. All right. I got it there again. So, yes, the question was, is there any international exposure in the program? Yes, of course, we do have international exposure. Like I explained, we have an entire perspective, an entire section related to this international exposure. So you have international immersion programs where you go abroad for a few days. Like I said, exposure to the university students, the daily life in a particular country, as well as the work life, right? You get to interact with the managers over there at the headquarters of the company. So we don't take you branch offices. Okay, we take you to the headquarters. We have good tie-ups over there. We take you to the headquarters. You interact with the top people over there. So you're talking about global VPs, global leaders. You speak to them and interact with them. Okay, that is the international exposure we give you. We also give you exposure right here at SJIM itself. So we have the international conference. In fact, we just completed our international conference a few days back. And we had attendees and industry people coming in from all across the world and as well from India. And they come in for lecture mode. They come in to interact with students. There's a lot of discussion and networking that happens. Okay, so there's a lot of international exposure that you have. Our business plan competition is there. If you want to do it in a both combine both your entrepreneurial spirit as well as international exposure, you can do them both together in our business plan competition. All right, so tons of international exposure. You will not be in any shortage. We have an entire section of our website also dedicated towards that. So you can explore more of that as well. Do you offer any merit-based scholarships? Yes, we do. We have two types. So one is recently introduced is the admissions merit-based scholarships. That means based on your scores in the standardized test, that is CAT, MAT, CMAT, EXAT, and so on. Based on that, we have scholarships as well as based on general merit. So as you progress through your course, if you do well in your program, you attain a certain GPA level, then you're in the top 10 of your in the program, then you are given a merit-based scholarship. Okay. Again, the details are also available. We again also have all the details available in the website. If you go to the PGDM program, academic programs, PGDM program, and in that we have a section on scholarships. That's specifically dedicated to scholarships because we understand that scholarships are important for students. Sometimes it can become a financial burden or difficulty, and therefore we try to address that. We try to help you with that. Yes, I think Vivek has asked the same question about the scholarships. So that's basically the answer. But in addition to the merit-based scholarships, we also have scholarships for those who are facing, who have economic difficulties. That's a separate kind of scholarship that we have, right? That is separate from the other two. Obviously, you can apply for only one of the three scholarships. You can't apply for all. And once you're eligible for one, there are certain eligibility criteria. Once you become eligible for one, then you can't apply for the others. Okay, but there's a lot of scholarships. Like I said, several students get scholarships every year, and the total amount of scholarships that is dispersed is a very large amount. It's almost 35 lakhs or so. I think last year it was around 35 lakhs or more. So it's a very large amount that is dispersed to the students. And because we understand that this is a requirement for some students, and therefore we try to help you get through that. How many types of specializations are available? So we have dual specializations. So we have a combination in terms of your number of types of specialization. So functional area wise, we have finance, marketing, HR, and operations. That's four. But you can choose two, which means you can choose any two, right, as your combination. So you have multiple versions available that's possible for you. If you want to stick only with one, that is doable, but we recommend you take two since you're getting the opportunity. Because then when it comes to placements, when it comes to moving ahead in your career, you are in a better position if you take up a dual specialization as compared to just a single specialization. Uh, what about By the way, in case I've not fully answered your question or you want to ask something more, please go ahead and repost it. Yeah, no problem. I don't mind answering again. Okay. All right. So let me take The next one, what about life projects? Of course, we have tons of life projects going on at SJIM. So, in your second year, that's when you do your elective subjects, right? You take about maybe 6 electives, 5 to 6 electives, depending on how you structure your course, because it's completely elective based. So it's, you control in some sense the credits, is the minimum and maximum number of credits. So within that, you are choosing your electives. But usually it's around, say, average of about 5 or 6 subjects. In each of the subjects in the second year, we say that we kind of dedicate 25% of your course to life projects. Okay, so since it's an elective, it's usually more, industry related. It is closer to what is happening in the industry. It is related to, skill base and so on. In which case, doing a live project in the industry makes a big difference. So 25% of your score or component of the grade for that course is dedicated towards life projects, and then you go ahead and take up those life projects. You work with some people in the industry and so on, and therefore you get your exposure. So you can imagine the number of projects that you will end up doing. Of course, some of them are group projects, which means that you'll be sharing the work, so it's not a excessive burden. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. It's quite doable and enjoyable. All our students love their life projects. We also, in addition, have a mandatory internship time, where between your first year and your second year, there is a gap of 2 months. And in those 2 months, 8 weeks, right, you're expected to do an internship at an organization, at a company. The college does help you gain some internships, but you're also free to go and get your own internships at any company. But basically, you have to work for 8 weeks, that is 2 months, in an organization, on whatever work they give you, depending on whatever business they are involved in. And that gives you a live exposure to what is going on. That gives you a real life exposure to what is happening, so that you are ready then when you come for your second year. That you're ready, you have some exposure to understand what's happening in the business world. You try to apply some of what you've learned in the first year there, and then you come into your second year and we teach you more. We upgrade your skills a little bit more and give you exposure to the industry as well through the life projects. And the next question is, how are internship opportunities like at SJIM? Is it mandatory? Yes. So internship opportunities, like I said, we help you in the college, through the college. We help you through that. It is mandatory. Okay. As per the AICP requirements, you are mandatorily required to go for an internship of a minimum of 8 weeks. Okay. So 2 months is mandatory between the first and second year. Application fee. So I'm not sure if you're talking about the application fee or the course fee. With application fee, about 1,000 rupees. Okay, and you pay that online as part of your when you're applying online. If it is the course fee, that is 8.4 lakhs for 2 years. That is 4.2 lakhs per year, which is still, if you compare it to other colleges, we're actually quite low. We're not charging too much, considering how much we are providing. Okay. And I think I'm not too sure. If you were talking about course fee, like I said, it's 4.2 lakhs per year. With application fee, it's a very small amount. I prepare for internship and placements. Okay, so for internship and placements, Ms. Shobha,
Yes,
could you answer that one? How can they prepare for internships and placements?
sure, I definitely. I think Dr. Anup clearly mentioned that internship is for a duration of 2 months. This ours is we offer trimester. Okay, every 3 months you will be writing your interim exams. End of the first year, for 2 months, that is 8 weeks, you will have to have mandatorily do your internship. So as far as possible, college will help or most of the students to because for the internship we get tier 1 companies like Morgan Stanley. We have Morgan Stanley, we have Goldman Sachs, we have Ujjivan Financial Banks. These are the companies which offer a very good stipend. In fact, Morgan Stanley offers 50,000 per month. That means this is for 2 months I'm referring to. So for such companies, we really look forward for students to get prepared, right? Probably, for all this means you have to have a very strong resume of yourself. So with those, as Dr. Anup sir said that, you will also be trained for all this to prepare yourself and be industry ready. Okay. So we would recommend you to, put across all your effort to have a very good resume. And internship interviews are not very as rigorous as your final placements. Okay. They want to see how best a student can fit in as an intern to deliver your best for 2 months, 2 months time. And of course, for your final placements, you will have almost 3 to 4 months of your training rigorously for preferably for placements. Okay, by the time you come back from your internship, you will have another 2 to 3 months to get prepared for your we always recommend you to just practice some aptitude tests which are available online. Most beautiful platforms like IndiaBiz, those are all the platforms that you can prepare from your end. And also parallelly, you will be trained in your regular classes in the college. Okay, put together, you will be industry ready to face the final interviews and take your jobs. Is it clear? I think for the next question, sir.
Sure. Thank you, Ms. Shobha. So the next question is, how are the IT opportunities like at SJIM? How many IT companies come for placements?
Yeah, I think I can answer that. Yeah, regularly we have regular recruiters which visit St. Joseph's in the early slots. For example, most of the IT companies that we have is, we have Accenture, we have Brilio, we have Mindtree, we have TCS, we have IBM, we have, more or less, they're all the high packers that, they come regularly to us. But year on year, we are increasing the number of companies that are visiting us to our campus, right? So, and overall, 50 plus companies come to us in a matter of, by the time you are in the final placements, 50 plus companies visit the campus every year. This is the trend that we have been followed. And out of which, more than 20 companies fall under the IT sector. Probably this is a curious question, I think, of somebody who is from the WorkX background, I feel. Okay, somebody from the engineering background or work experience background. So IT exposure is definitely, given to. You can look forward for an IT exposure as well.
All right. Thank you, Shobha. I'll take the next question. How is PGDM different from MBA? So the way PGDM works is, like I said, they're in terms of courses, they're equivalent to each other as per AICT, but the PGDM is in some sense more industry focused, right? So we try to give you a lot of industry exposure. We try to make sure that our courses are industry ready, so we're up to date with what is going on in the industry and keep things moving in that sense. So I think that's how you will get a difference in terms of the PGDM versus the MBA. You'll get a lot more connection with the industry while you are doing your program, right? So that's part of the program itself. It's inbuilt into the program rather than as compared to an MBA. And that's just a difference. But in terms of equivalence, they are both equivalent to each other. In terms of how, whether one is more important or less important, etc. As for the regulatory authority, that's the AICT, both of them are equivalent. The fee structure, so the fee structure is, like I said, 4.2 lakhs per year. And then it is also broken down by installments because we understand that it might be difficult to suddenly pay that huge amount at one go. So instead, we break it down into installments. So you have 4 installments across your 2 years, and then you can pay the fees accordingly. And like I said, there are also scholarships available. Eligibility criteria for admission. All right, so this information is also there. It's very clear on our website. You don't have to worry. There's nothing hidden. It's all transparent. There are basic eligibility. You need to have obviously completed your undergraduate studies, right? If you're in your final year, that's fine. But before you join, before the starting date of our program, you should have completed your undergraduate program. That is mandatory. So even if you're in your final year and you're going to finish, say, another couple of weeks or another month, that's all fine because we'll be starting a little later. So before the starting date of our program, you should finish your undergraduate degree. That's the first mandatory requirement. And then you have to have taken some All India entrance exam. That is like the CAT. The math is the most common. CAT is also equally common. We find a lot of students coming in with CAT. There is also the EXAT, the CMAT, the APMA, the GMAT. You can take all these, right? There's no problem from our side. We have certain cutoffs for them. So, for example, the math, we have a 550 composite score. For the others, all the other exams, we have a 60% minimum requirement. Okay, so you should be in the 60th percentile or above. Okay, that's what we're looking at. That's the eligibility criteria. And then, of course, you have to undergo an interview. Right, you have to interact with an interview panel. It's an online interview that we are conducting this year. So an interview panel, and then you have a discussion based on your background and what you've studied and your projects and things like that. And we discuss it and see whether you will be a good fit for our institute or not. Those are the basic eligibility criteria. Please remember that you should also have a consistent academic record. That means, from the beginning, from your 10th, 12th onwards, you should have been scoring at least 60%. That's the minimum that we're looking at. So a consistent academic record is also what we would prefer. Okay. Those are your eligibility criteria. Like I said, the information is available for you on our website, even how we break it down for your joining admissions and so on. All that is available there. Okay, it's a very transparent process. I would like to know whether hostel accommodation is compulsory. No, it's not compulsory, but we do offer it. Okay, so we have hostels both for boys and girls. For boys, it's just about 2 minutes down the road from the college. For girls, it's right on the campus itself. Okay, so we have hostel accommodation for both, but it is not compulsory. You can choose to live somewhere else as well, and a lot of students do that simply because you're very centrally located, and you can reach a college very easily, right? By metro, by bus, by your own transport, no problem. Okay, how much student-driven is this college? How many clubs and committees? Oh, we have a lot of clubs and committees. So we have different student leaders that we have for each club and for various activities in the college. We have about 4 or 5 clubs that are quite active. Sometimes new clubs are also created, right? So we have lots of sporting events. There's major student-driven events are things like Pinnacle, which is intra-college, or JPL, which is a sporting intra-college event. We have Verve, which is a inter-college a student event. We have the international conference, which is bigger than that, right? It goes international. We have the business plan competition, which is also international, but at a student level. Lots of events. These are all driven by students, organized by students, participated by students. Okay. And a lot of the CSR work that the college does is all initiated by the students, like blood donation camps, walkathons, and Little Christmas, and so many events are there. If you go to our website and go to the news section, you'll see a lot of this turning up over there, right? A lot of the events and everything that happens in the college. I think extracurricular activities is kind of connected to that. So we have activities that are connected to your education, to your PGDM, which means things like connected to your course, to be able to utilize your knowledge and skills that you have learned, utilize it in these events, like things like your the international business plan competition, the conclaves that are organized, organization of other events like Verve and Pinnacle and so on. All that utilizes your knowledge that you have picked up, okay, during the course. But in addition to that, you have other activities also that is in some sense extracurricular that add on to this, which is outside the college, or intercollegiate sporting events, various things like that as well. So it's a good mixture of both. There are enough of activities to keep you busy, occupied, utilize your knowledge, utilize your skills, to showcase your talent. There are tons of events available on campus. Okay, there's no shortage. You'll always be busy with something. All right. What's the last date to apply? So the last date to apply is 16th March. That is the deadline. The fee structure, I think I've discussed that before. Like I said, it's 4.2 lakhs per year in an installment basis. Okay. How can the internship help me in getting a good job? So
Yeah.
internships, remember, are a stepping stone towards your placements. You do a good internship, right? Then at placement times, the recruiters do discuss what you've done in your internship, since they also know that it's in some sense mandatory. And if you've done a good job there, you get a good, review from your managers and so on, evaluation from your managers. You scored well in your internship and things like that. That actually helps you, because now the recruiters know when you were given an opportunity or a chance to work in the real world, to work at a company, you did really well. You showed, right? You were able to excel at whatever you were doing, which means that there's a very high chance that you will excel even if they recruit you, right? So it's a very good stepping stone to placements. So a good internship, at least that's what we have seen over the years, a good internship does lead to good placements, right? Mrs. Shobha, if you'd like to add on anything.
Yeah, I have a point to add. As I said, the 2 months internship is mandatory, and the more you dedicate to your project internally, and you will also have a faculty guide internally from the college as well. And the internship offered through colleges, most of the students there, it is we have the post offer. Soon after internship, company approaches the placement office saying that so and so student has really excelled in the internship, we would like to offer them a full-time role. Okay, at that point in time, you will not have to sit for the process, the selection process what the company follows. Soon after your internship, your offer is ready for your full-time. Okay, that's one added point here.
Sure.
Okay,
I think
so
that's a good point that.
Yes.
Yes,
So before stepping to the next question, so I would like to all the attendees know that we have dropped the website link in the chat box, so you people can go and explore the website and know any information you want to know. So yeah, we can go ahead with the next question.
all right, sure. So I think if the website link is also dropped there, then maybe I can stop my screen sharing, or should I keep that up for some more time?
No, you can keep it, sir. If
Keep it up.
someone
All
wants to
right.
scan it, they will.
Sure. All right. So yes, I think that's a very good point that Ms. Shobha added in about the offers that come once you finish your internship, and that's a huge advantage for a lot of students because then you're already set, right? Your second year is very comfortable. Then you can focus on your studies, not worry about your placements because you're already set. You're ready to go. As soon as you graduate, you join the workplace. Okay. All right. So how are startups treated at SJIM? That's a good question. So startups, we do encourage startups at SGIM. We have incubation center that we call as a catalyst center, which is mentored by people from the industry, people who are themselves entrepreneurs, right? They've come to share their knowledge, act as mentors. They bring in actually regular guest lectures and discussions. They organize these discussions as well, so that if you're interested in your startup, you have a good opportunity, a good platform in order to be able to explore it, right? So you can take your plan to the mentors. They'll help you fine tune it. You can start up your business and see how things are running, get back to the mentors and so on. We have startup funding, seed funding that is available and so on. So all that is there. We have other areas through which startups are also helped. For example, like you said, the international business plan competition that can give you some good ideas for a startup. Okay, and you will have international business partners already to start with. Okay, that is another way in which it can be done. The conclaves are another great way because a lot of times we bring in people who have recently started companies in a specific area, because especially when you're talking about the conclave is around a very new area in a specific functional space, like in marketing, a very new area in marketing, say neuro marketing and so on, in which case we bring people who are at the edge of that field, the top cutting edge of that area, and invariably they're either in a startup or they're looking towards those kind of things, and it again gives you an opportunity to interact and network with them. Okay, what's the last date to apply? Like I said, 16th March. That's also there on the slide. You should be able to see that. What are the top companies visiting campus for placements? I discussed a few. Ms. Shobha, any?
Yes, I think, yeah. We had the slide in the presentation, but still I would love to just give you list the companies. So top companies I can say, we have Accenture, we have Brilio, we have Mercedes-Benz, we have Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Ernst Y, that is Ernst & Young, we have NTT Data, okay, and we have Xiaomi. This year we are adding into the last years, we had enlisted a lot of companies. We have KPMG, we have Deloitte, so we have Fidelity, Citigroup. And for your curiosity, this year the highest package, as we said, it is 22 lakhs per annum, and one of the company is Kaseya. It's an IT firm. Okay, and this was for marketing group. Okay, there's 2 students have been selected for this high package, and we still have other companies with 14 plus salaries, salaries offered as well. Okay, you can always also refer our website. We have listed the companies that have visited us, okay, in the past, last year, the previous year, and this year. So that should be self-explanatory to you.
All right. So going to the next question, we have, when will classes start? That's a good question. So we've had to shift our starting time. We used to start in June, but due to the pandemic, we've shifted our class timings. There was no choice. There was a mandatory shift that had to be done. So we should be starting in July or August. The exact date will be announced soon enough. Once we finish the admissions and everything is processed, then we will be announcing the exact date of starting. Right, but July, August is when we are looking at a starting date. Most likely, at least as of now, the college is running offline. Right, obviously I cannot predict anything as to how it will go, because we've been going online offline so many times. But as of now, things are offline. Okay, so we'll be most probably starting offline unless the context changes, the situation changes. Can I pick freelancing projects over internship? Well, see, a freelancing project, that means a project that you do by yourself. No, we don't allow you to do that, because the project has to be done with an organization, because someone has to give you an evaluation, right? You have to have an external industry guide who will evaluate how you have done in your internship. Remember, it is a credit course in some sense. An internship is worth 6 credits, which is quite a lot. It's like equivalent of 2 courses. So someone has to evaluate it. Part of the evaluation is done by the external person, your industry guide, the person, your contact in the industry. So you can't take up your own project and do it yourself, because I'm sure you'll give yourself 100 marks. But so we need you to take it up with somebody in the industry. It can be an entrepreneurship, it can be a startup, it can be a big corporation. The college helps you, like we already told you, but it has to be at a company, a registered company. Okay. Family businesses are also fine. Your own family business, all that is fine, as long as you're finally going to get an evaluation from a manager who is working at a company. That is important. You cannot self-evaluate your internships. Can you throw some light on the faculty's profile? Yeah. So sure. So we have faculties from a wide range. The faculties have been, well educated, well trained in some of the top institutes, both in India, like the IIMs and other universities, and abroad. You have from US and UK and so on. Uh, a lot of them, most of them, faculties already have PhDs. Some are still pursuing PhDs. We have a good mix of faculty who have a lot of industry experience. So in some sense, when you come here, you will get a mixture of all the good things, right? So you have faculty who are strong in academics and research and have done really well there. You have faculty members who are, worked in the industry for a long time, have a good exposure and connect over there. You have faculty who are doing a mixture of both, and there's a lot of like that. In some sense, you're getting a good mix of both that comes in. And I think if you go back and if you come and speak to some of the students in the college, you will find that they're very happy with the faculty members, right? They enjoy their courses and they have a good time over here. I think the learning experience is made easier because we have a good set of faculty members, right? So in some sense, that facilitates your learning, helps with your learning as well. Do you take admission from CAT results? Yes, we do, certainly. So CAT is there, like I said, 60% is the eligibility that we're looking for from CAT. But apart from CAT, the other exams are MAT, CMAT, GMAT, APMA. Those are the exams, EXAT, the ones that we look at. They're all listed on our website also, so you won't have any problem. Like I said, it's all transparent. You can easily refer to it over there. In case you forget whatever I've told you, and you can go back and check over there. There's no problem. Does your institute provide any mentorship to the student in order for them to choose a specialization? Yes. So both levels of mentorship that I spoke about, that is your student level, that is your seniors, and your faculty member, both can help you in terms of choosing a specialization. So your seniors can give you advice in terms of, since they have started their second year course, they can give you some advice in terms of which electives they found interesting or which specialization they chose, why they chose it, like a personal experience. But you can speak to your faculty members to get a broader exposure, right? Because faculty members have been here for several years, they have connections with the industry and so on, so they have a better idea as to which specialization will help you for your specific context, because you may be good at something, you may have talent in something, so maybe for your specific context, which specialization will help. That's a pretty standard thing. You have students going and speaking to faculty members close to the internship time. At that time, lots of students go in and out of faculty member rooms to discuss this and figure out what's going on. I think we have a few more questions. Raghav, we can do that? There's no problem.
Yeah, we can do that, sir. We have another 2-3 questions.
Yeah, that's what. So we can just finish that. What is your alumni network like? So we have a strong alumni network. if you look at our website, we have an alumni section over there. And once you graduate, you automatically get onto the Alumni Network. And the beauty about the Alumni Network is it's not just about coming for the alumni meet and having a good dinner, but we also encourage you to interact with the other alumni. So across the batches, and we have ideas for recruitment. If you want to shift your job after a few years, it gets posted. Things are posted on the Alumni Network. There is sharing of job information, recruitment information. All that is done. If you have space in your organization and you want to recruit some of our current students, you can post that as well. Or of course, get in touch with Ms. Shobha, right? And we'll be very happy to take up that offer that you can give. So the alumni network is quite strong. It's very involved. We have people coming in to help us with admissions, to help us with when we talk about the internship evaluation, sometimes evaluation in the courses. When we have the guest lectures going on, there's a lot of interaction with our alumni because we believe that we have trained you well. And then when you add on the exposure that you get in the industry, we are very happy to welcome you back for all these things and to still be part of the institute. Right? So we have a strong alumni connection, and the network is growing and quite big. Some other few things are: what are the skill training courses provided, and how many students are made job market ready? So I think skill training, I'll hand over to Ms. Shobha to speak about, but it's all students. The training is given to all students. Okay, anyway, I'll let Ms. Shobha just expand on that.
Yes. See, we have a career development program in-house. Okay, as we mentioned you earlier, we have a resource, a well-experienced resource person coming from the industry and who are full-time available at the campus. Okay, as part of your regular curriculum, you will also have these training programs. And companies define a specific selection process. If companies will have their own selection process, which will be shared to the placement office just before your particular company comes to the campus. So, for example, the skill training courses that you will be come across is the resume building. How well you can prepare your resume, how to face the group discussion, mock interviews will be done, one-on-one interviews will be done. And by the time you finish this skill courses, you are industry ready and you have the confidence to face the interview very easily and get selected. Okay, any addition?
I think that's fine. I think that covers everything. I think you don't have to worry about your skill training, like Ms. Shobha has said. You'll get extensive skill training for placements. Okay, you'll be made job market ready. That's not at all an issue, and it is for everyone. It is for all students. Okay. So of course we started after your internships. We don't try to hurry it too much, but before placements start, you will definitely be trained and you'll be ready. Okay. All right. So I think that's all the questions that we have.
Yeah, so I think these were the questions we had from the audience. So if somebody still have some query or questions, they can. Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So these were the questions we had. So I was just saying, if somebody has still any query and questions, so they can anytime drop a mail at info@sjim.edu.in, or they can explore the website www.sjim.edu.in. So, sir, this was surely a very enlightening session for our audience. So I would like to thank everyone for joining us, and thank you everyone for being such a wonderful and interacting audience. So if somebody has a question, so we'll directly mail to you, sir.